Hi friends and ladies, this is Candy Foster here again for your wonderful book reviews. On our reading list this year for 2021, we have 8 wonderful new books and I can't wait to share them with you. It's so exciting. All right, here we go. Our first missions book this year is called Dragon Ride. It's written by Grace Jacobs. That is not her real name, this is a pseudonym because she's a former missionary to China and Hong Kong and she hopes to go back one day. So she writes 48 short stories. It's all about the culture and beliefs, the customs, a glimpse into what missionary life looks like. So there's lots of adventures, different obstacles, and just the challenging aspect it is to minister in Southeast Asia. She shares her story of going from atheism to believing in Jesus, to being called to be a missionary. So she has a special way to minister to those that she is ministering to, and you will enjoy all the details and you'll feel like you're right there with her in her adventures. There's miracles, there's spiritual growth, everyday life, it's all in here. You'll want to read it. It's good. Our next book is called Soaring Higher. This is written by Dr. Philip C. Eyster. He is an evangelist and he goes around the world and he ministers and partners with local churches. So anywhere there's a local church, if they invite him, he has a chance to go and partner with them and evangelize. So if there's not a local church that's going to be discipling the people after he's gone, he is not going to go. So he shares lots of stories, lots of history, lots of tales of the local believers themselves, how they came to Christ and how the church is growing in their area. He is a down-to-earth author, so you're going to enjoy reading his books, and it shares about the different hardships of travel, the different foods, the health things that he has come across, as well as funny culture and language misunderstandings. So an enjoyable read, an easy read, and educational. You'll enjoy it. You should read it. All right, now we're in the Christian life autobiography or biography section. So our first book this year is by Patrice Gopo, and it is called All the Colors We Will See. This is a book of essays, and oh, she's a fabulous writer. You will really get to know her and just have a peek basically inside her brain. So Patrice is the daughter of 2 Jamaican immigrants. She was born in Alaska and grew up there. She went to college on the East Coast and got 2 different master's degrees, traveled a lot, spent the year after college working in ministry for the Lord. And amidst her travels, she met her future husband, which is now her husband. They got married and they started life in South Africa. So you've got tales of South Africa in here, and intercultural marriages, and what does heritage look like, what does beauty look like. Different topics include motherhood, memories, relationships, culture, church, history. She has great insights in what it feels like to be a minority and how that affects life. So if you want another good read, you should really pick up this book. It's very enlightening. I recommend it. Read it. Okay, our next book in the Christian life category is called Fringe Hours. It's Making Time for You. It's by Jessica Turner. I highly recommend this book. In fact, I'm thinking about reading it again now. This book is wonderful. If you feel like you're always pouring out to other people and never taking time for yourself, this book is for you. It empowers you to use your free minutes, which she calls fringe time or fringe hours, and it gives you something back to yourself. So you're following your passions, you're following your heart, you're doing self-care, you're managing your time effectively, making time for you, what's important, and in turn you become a better sister, a better friend, a better mother, a better wife, a better coworker. You learn to say no to some things, you learn to say yes to some things. I would just really recommend this book. It was a wonderful read. It's got some workbook sections in it, so get a notebook, write down your thoughts, be challenged, grow, and become a better version of yourself. It's called Fringe Hours. Read it. It's really good. Next, we're going to the Quaker and the Classics. Our next book is in the Quaker category. It's called Only by the Grace of God, Surviving World War II by Walter, or Bud as we know him, Lawrence. This book is really good. It has two big sections. The first half is basically the story of Bud's life and his journey to becoming a waist gunner on a B-24 in Europe, and surviving a mid-air collision with another airplane, and then becoming a prisoner of war in Poland and Germany, and how he survived that. The second half of the book is dedicated to his crew, and it shares poems from fellow POWs that were written in the camp about being a POW, and also about war, as well as what happened to the rest of the people on his crew that were flying that day. This book is a compilation of stories and diary entries. It's full of scanned documents and photos, and it's a memorial to the bomber crew that he was with, the POWs, and to all who survived World War II. So read it, it's pretty good. You'll enjoy it. And if you've already read it, it still counts. Because you know some people will be wanting to know that. Our book in the classics category is by Brother Lawrence, another Lawrence person. So, you know, this is the Lawrence section. This is called The Practice of the Presence of God. I chose this one in modern English so that it would be easier to understand, and you might have it on your bookshelf in Old English, which is totally fine, that totally counts too. I just chose this in modern English. I really enjoyed this book because it is practicing being in spiritual communion with God, and we all need that truth right now, and we all need to be practicing that and just sitting in God's presence and basking in His love. This book has three sections. The first part is notes that were taken from conversations that a person named Monsignor Joseph de Beaufort had with Brother Lawrence, in part like of a discipleship kind of a program where he was discipling him how to practice being in the presence of God. The second part is letters from Brother Lawrence to Monsignor Joseph de Beaufort, and he includes them here. And the third part are spiritual maxims found in his room after his death. And I really enjoyed this meat part of the book. It has some great insights and great tips on how to carry out this continual spiritual communion with God and through the everyday life. So this was published over 300 years ago, but it is timeless, and I really think you'll enjoy it if you just pick it up. It's short and sweet, and you'll have another book off your list, and you'll be growing. So what can be better? All right, read it. It's good. Okay, we're down to the Christian fiction category. I know you've all been waiting for this. Our two books this year are phenomenal. Our first one is called A Rumored Fortune. It is by Joanna Davidson Politano, and it is based on Tressa Harlow and her ailing mother, and they inherit a vast fortune on an estate left to them by Tressa's father, and he had a sudden death, but he never told them where the fortune was hidden on the estate. So there's opportunists coming out of the woodwork all over the place under the guise of sympathy, but all they want is to find the treasure for themselves. So they're trying to take care of, Tressa's trying to take care of the mansion and the vineyards and get things in order, but yet she has no money to pay anybody with. So she's trying to work with the vineyard manager, who she doesn't always agree with, on how to get the day laborers and the workers to work without pay until they find the fortune. So different clashes happen with the vineyard manager and Tressa, and sparks fly, and you'll want to read to see if they find the fortune. Is it a real fortune? Is it a fictional fortune? Is it a spiritual fortune? You know, what is it? Secrets abound. Mystery awaits you in the south of England on this delightful, romantic, Victorian mystery. Read it. It's really good. Our last book for Christian fiction is The Long Highway Home. It is a novel written by Elizabeth Musser. This is a story about Bobby Blake and her niece Tracy. They travel to Austria to a ministry center named the Oasis. It's a refugee ministry center that Bobby helped start 20 years ago. She's returning to visit now because she's been given a terminal cancer diagnosis, and so she wants to go see the ministry and her former friends. Both are impacted by the refugee stories and the ministry that is going on and how powerful a ministry that is. Both Bobby and Tracy are impacted by the story of Hamid. He's a refugee from Iran, and he is on the run because his daughter was caught with a New Testament on the street, and so the whole family is now in danger. So he flees the country, makes it to Austria, and now the challenge is to get his wife and his child out of the country. So can this team of ministry workers amongst the refugees, can they help? Will they be able to get them out of the country into safety in time? How can Bobby and Tracy help them? There's lots of drama in this book, but it's really good. I will leave it to you to find out the ending and what happens to Hamid and his family, and to Bobby and Tracy. This is a story that is somewhat based on fact, in that there really are refugee ministry centers like the one mentioned here, and there really are amazing stories that come out of them. So you will be thinking you're reading a true story, but it does say a novel on the front. Right here, a novel. Read it, it's really good. Next, I want to talk to you about the reading course prize drawings. As you know, every year you turn in your reading course reports. They look somewhat like this, and you tell me what you've been reading off of the reading course in the year, and I hold prize drawings. So for every 2 books that you read off of the list, you get an entry into the general reading course prize drawing. There are 3 winners every year. It could be you. I could be calling you on February 28th and telling you you won a $10 gift certificate. Who knows? There's also another prize drawing. It's called the Top Readers Prize Drawing. And if you read all 8 new books from the year, then you get entered into a $25 Visa gift card prize drawing. So it could be you that I call on February 28th as well. So fill these out and get them sent in by February 15th to be entered into the reading course prize drawing contest. You can find more information at friendswoman.com. Go to the resources section and scroll down past the Quaker Bonnet info to the reading course section, and it'll give you info on all the books and how to enter the reading course prize drawing. So check it out. I highly recommend it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've had lots of laughs making it, and I can't wait to talk to you next year. Try 381. Just kidding. There's a car. Then where was I? That's not what I want to say. I don't know how many of these are going to have cars going by. Welcome to my backyard. Nope, we're going to start over again. That was a really loud car. And there goes another car. I should have done this like when nobody was out. Blah, 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 blah. That's loud. What is it? Everyone travels the road on Mondays? So that lets you know that it's not true. But it seems true. And it could be true, probably. So you should read it. It's really good. Is Dad back there? Yeah. Did he walk beyond the...
You'll have to see what he did.
This is hilarious. Maybe next year I'll film it inside. Thanks. Bye. Bye? Why am I saying bye? Thanks. See you. Hopefully in person sometime soon.